Talk football now for the next 10 or so minutes, because last week FC Halifax Town will rock with the news that manager Jamie Fullerton had stepped down from the club. But Halifax, though, have moved this week to replace him. The former Oldham Athletic manager Pete Wild is the new manager at the Shea. I'm delighted to say that he joins us now. Hi there, Pete.
Hi, Nick. You okay?
Yeah, very well, thank you. Many thanks for joining us this evening.
No problem.
Tell us then, what is it about FC Halifax Town that made you want to apply for the job?
Well, I think there's quite a lot of similarities. I mean, over the years, Halifax have had an illustrious history and a club that I've seen rise throughout the non-league pyramid and before the old club. And I thought there was quite a lot of similarities. It's only over the Pennines for me. And I thought, like, from the club I'd come from, that it was a really good fit for me and a really good fit for the club, hopefully.
Yeah, how excited are you about the challenge ahead? Because it is a challenge, isn't it? Because you've come in so late, the squad numbers are fairly low as well at the moment.
Yeah, it's a massive challenge, but I'm used to a massive challenge in my previous role at Oldham. That was the same. So I'm used to working quickly. I'm used to being dealing with the cards I'm dealt and just getting on with it. One thing I just get on with it. You don't moan about the problems. You just got to get on with it. And I'm really grateful to the chairman for giving me this opportunity.
Where are you squad-wise then at the moment?
Well, yeah, we're down on numbers where we want to be. We certainly need 2 or 3 in this week before the first game of the season. But one thing I won't be doing is rushing in. Sometimes you can rush in and go and get numbers through the door because you're panicking, you haven't got the numbers in. And then you can make the wrong decisions and naive decisions that you'll come to regret. So, yes, I am aware that we need to get people through the door and quickly, but I certainly won't do it unless it's right for the football club.
Yeah, why is the squad number so low at the moment, going into so close to the new season?
Well, I'm not really sure. I mean, I've come into an environment, obviously, with the old managers left in such a short space of time and so close to the season. And I don't want to dwell on the problems because I don't really know them. I want to focus on the job in hand and making sure that come next Saturday we're full strength and we're ready for the challenge ahead.
I imagine how busy have you been? And I imagine it's been 100 miles an hour since day one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. It's been a long couple of days. Something I've enjoyed. Every agent in the country's got the best player for me and they want to sell them to me. So I've just been trying to sift through them and make sure the players that have been sent our way, the players that I already wanted to recruit, and I spoke to the chairman about recruiting. He's now trying to see if we can make them happen and make them deals happen. And obviously, quicker the better. And
obviously, you'll want numbers through the door, but you've got to put your stamp on them as well, haven't you?
You certainly have. We had a way of playing last year at my previous club, which had measured success in terms of what we did in such a short space of time. So we have a plan. We have a plan that works, and we want to get that across to the players. And in the last 2 days, we've tried to work on that as quickly as we can. We've asked them to sort of to buy in, to come with us and ask questions as quickly as possible. Because, like I say, we need to be ready come 3 o'clock next Saturday.
Yeah, and for any Halifax fans who are listening, then what sort of style can they expect from your side?
It's an interesting one. This one thing you get from me is we're organised, we'll be resilient, hard to beat. But adding some creativity when we do win the ball back and making sure that we use the ball wisely, get the ball wide and get balls in the box and score some goals. There was some great work done last year and a lot of clean sheets, but not enough goals scored. So I'm fully aware of that, and I'm fully aware that the fans pay the money to be entertained, and that's what I need to bring to the squad, as well as being tough to beat, resilient, etc.
And we mentioned that in terms of numbers, the squad is low, but amongst that number are quite a few sort of experienced heads. So how valuable are they to you at the moment?
Well, what we've got in the building is some really good players. We were talking about that today. We've got some really good players in the building and an experience. For example, you look at Nathan Clark and Matty Brown, who've been with the club. Nathan a year, Matty for 5 years. It's up to me to sort of lean on them a little bit of their experiences, use them. What worked well at Oldham is that we use the senior pros to our advantage and try to help us and make sure that they're on our side and make sure that everybody's going for the same thing. We all want to win. We all want to win on every game we play, and it's important that they have their input in that. And I'm not one of these managers that takes offence if something if they want to question or they want to offer a bit of advice. We're all in it for the same thing, so it's important the senior pros help us along that journey.
What would you say to those fans who, while they welcome your appointment, may have a few sort of reservations in terms of your first team managerial experience? You haven't got the hugest amount, have you?
No. What I would say to them is that everybody has to start somewhere. As I said before, we had a quite measured success in 2 short periods of time at Oldham last year. I think if you spoke to anybody that watched our teams last year, we were organised, we had a plan, and we excited teams when we scored, we excited fans when we scored goals. So I'd like them to be curious to come down, and then if they come down and they like what they see, then fantastic, and then they can judge me from there. And that's, to me, that's football. I understand football's a ruthless business, and if results aren't going our way, fans are not being entertained, then that's my fault.
And what do you know about the National League?
I know a lot about the National League in terms of we did a lot of recruitment there last year, so we watched a lot of games. I think it's quite similar to League Two in that it's Saturday, Tuesday, it's relentless. You can play well and get beat. If you're not up to the challenge, you can get run all over. So it's quite similar to what I've experienced before, which will help me. But I understand that it will come with its added challenges of a lot of travelling, a lot of Saturday, Tuesday fixtures. So we've got to be ready for that, and certainly make sure the players are.
Yeah, that first month. I mean, it's so full of games, isn't it?
Yeah, 8 games in August. So hopefully, as I've said in previous interviews, I want the fans to be patient so we can get the right calibre of player in, but I want them to be optimistic of what may lie ahead.
So in terms of numbers then and players in, how many are you looking to bring in before the first kickoff?
Well, I don't want to be held to numbers. If I can get a couple through the door, I'll be happy. But if they don't come, what we've got in the building at the moment, there's some really good players, and we'll utilise that. Like I say, the budget's the budget. The players are the players, and you can make one wrong choice, and that might just take up the bit of budget that you wanted, or that might just ruin what we've already got in the dressing room. So it's really important that we make the right choices in recruitment, because we want to make sure they add to the squad and don't hinder the squad. Yeah,
and are you happy with the budget that you've got?
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, it's competitive. It's a budget that we can certainly work with, and we can bring players in to drive us forward.
I mean, a lot has been made of the number of sort of home pre-season games that have been cut off because of the state of the pitch. What is the latest on that? What can you tell us?
Well, the pitch will be ready for the first home game, and we'll make sure we move forward. Unfortunately, that's out of the club's control in some respects, and the club have dealt the cards they're dealt. Obviously, the chairman's really disappointed. The players are really disappointed because we can't go and show the fans what we've got in the pre-season games. But it is what it is. I don't dwell on the problems. Unfortunately, we couldn't play the 2 fixtures, but again, we move on to a strange fixture for me on Tuesday night against Oldham, and then into the first game on the Saturday.
Yeah, and just finally, Pete, before we let you go, what would you deem as a success this season?
One, I want us to be competitive. I want to build on the finish from last season. If we could be pushing in the top half of the table, that would be fantastic. But again, let's just make sure that we're competitive and we're driving forward. And then if we can creep in the top half of the table, let's reevaluate from there.
Well, Pete, best of luck for the forthcoming season. Best of luck with your player recruitment as well. I don't envy you with such a short time to go before the start of the new season, but best of luck with that, and all the best for the new season as well.
Thanks, Nick. Thanks for your time. Thank you.
That's Pete Wild, the new manager of FC Halifax Town, in at short notice after Jamie Fullerton left the club last week. But sounds like he's very, very busy getting new faces through the door at the show. We will, of course, follow FC Halifax Town progress throughout the season here on BBC Radio Leeds. Now, the Yorkshire Vikings